Every day since his birth, Jesus has been teaching by his example. Today in the Gospel, he teaches with words, and the lesson is a big one, the nature of true success. When Jesus and his disciples sit down in Capernaum, tired and dusty after a long day on the road, teaching, healing, and casting out evil spirits, he knows exactly what they've been talking about: success, glory, and greatness. Of course, the disciples are embarrassed when they find out that Jesus knows, and they don't want to admit it. They think that their interest in worldly success is too self-centered and that Jesus won't approve. Jesus' response, however, is surprising. He doesn't tell the disciples that they shouldn't desire to excel, to achieve, and to do great things. He doesn't condemn their very normal impulse, because he knows that achieving things and wanting to make a difference in the world is a basic need that every human heart feels at some point. In fact, Jesus knows that God made us that way because it's one of the ways that we can be a sign of God's goodness in the world. Jesus, therefore, doesn't scold them for wanting to do something great. Instead, he tells them what true greatness really is. The great task for every Christian isn't to achieve fame, fortune, power, and worldly success. Rather, it's the same as Jesus's: to serve others, to make others happy, to reach out to the weak and dispossessed. Greatness in the kingdom of God means humility, an attitude of the heart that puts the good of others ahead of one's own preferences. It's self-giving, not self-getting. Jesus doesn't tell his disciples not to strive for great things, but he does point out where true, lasting, fulfilling greatness lies: in loving one's neighbor as Christ loves them. Jesus is the servant king. We, his disciples, are called to follow in those same demanding footsteps. When I was growing up, one of my favorite rides at the fairground were the bumper cars. I loved crashing around and bumping into everyone else. Without humility and where selfishness reigns, it can be a lot like bumper cars. Ambitions and agendas collide, or we seek to get back at someone who's in our way, or block them from getting where they want to get, out of spite. In real life, it's like bumper cars, but without the bumpers. People go crashing into one another to pursue their own ambitions with little or no regard for anyone else. When everyone in our life is doing that, it's just like bumper cars. Everyone drives round and round in circles, bouncing off one another, and ultimately no one goes anywhere. It's simply just a question of how many people you hurt along the way. Most of us, I think, can see the beauty of humility and humble service of others. We can understand intuitively why it's called true success. But putting it into practice is not easy. We might be willing to do the odd act of random kindness now and again because they make us feel good. But real progress to spiritual maturity requires a deeper commitment. The best place to implement this plan for true success is at home, because it's in our closest relationships that our natural selfishness tends to come out most easily. And so to transform those tendencies, to purify them, and to grow in humility, it means we must attack there. Humbly serving our spouse, siblings, our parents, this is true Christ-like virtue. This is where we forge a Christ-like heart. It begins with one simple thing: performing acts of kindness without seeking any reward for it. That's what Jesus meant when he said that our left hand shouldn't know what our right hand is doing. Doing what's right and good without looking for recognition is the surest way to purify our heart of the hidden selfishnesses. It's also the quickest way to deepen our friendship with Christ. After all, he gave his very life for the salvation of our souls, knowing that some would thank him for it, but that others would crucify him for it. Today, as Jesus renews his commitment to us, let's ask him to help us this week along the high road to true success.